Hi, my name is Sharath Sahadevan. This is a quick demo of WAN replication on GCP. And here what I'm doing is setting up two Hazelcast clusters from our Helm charts and then modifying the configuration to have WAN replication set up. So for the instructions, you go to the site that's shown here under Hazelcast Enterprise. Find the Enterprise one because that is the one that has WAN replication. You install that, and here I have two clusters installed, cluster 1 and cluster 2. If I click on cluster 1, cluster 2 there, we'll take a look at the config. I'm doing a kubectl get all, and that basically shows you all the components that are running in Kubernetes. You will see that there is management center, one node of management center that's running, and there are 3 nodes for the Hazelcast Enterprise, and their external IPs have been exposed as shown under the various services. If you go and look at the workloads, you will see Hazelcast Enterprise and Management Center. If I select here both cluster 1 and cluster 2, likewise you see both the Enterprise and Management Center installed under cluster 1 and cluster 2. Under services and ingress, note the external IPs that are there. That is the place where you can hit the services. So under configuration, if we go in there, and if you look at the configurations for Enterprise Hazelcast, that's where we will be adding the WAN replication configuration. So I'm looking at the details, and here is the WAN replication configuration that has been added by me. So under WAN replication, you specify the cluster name that you want to hit, and what is the target endpoint of the dev2 cluster, and then which is the map you want to replicate. And here the map that I want to replicate is REP, and you're using the WAN replication configuration below there. So I think these are the specs that you have to note. And if you go into map, you see that there is an map called REP. Remember, we configured that in our config. So now in Management Center, I'm looking at dev2 configuration, and if I go in and look at it, you see that 202 entries are there. Now if I go into Man Center 1, I'm going to go into the under my replication configuration. You're seeing that all the three members are connected, and their state you can see here. Now I'm going to go into the console, and I'm going to add many more entries in cluster 1, and we will see whether that gets replicated to cluster 2. So I'm adding 100 entries here. So now you note the size 302. This is the size here is growing as the entries. So here there is 302, and then you go into cluster 2 and also note that also has 302 entries. So that's the basic test. I had WAN replication set up, and then I added multiple entries on cluster 1, and they got replicated over to cluster 2. Thank you very much. That is a quick overview of the configuration for WAN replication. Thanks.